There you go.
And I'm glad I didn't switch the scene until after he said that.
Holy shit. Oh, well, to DnD.
Good luck, everyone.
We were barely able to start on time this week, but we're here.
We're here.
Absent any other technical issues here. I'm looking at 999 on Vinshenzo's ping and makes me think that things are going to be fun tonight. Okay, so we left off. You guys were in your little submarine pods. Vazrai, Paelias, and the elf twins are safely rising up to the surface in their pod. Vinshenzo, in the shape of giant shark, he is dashing upwards. Carlos and Nephis are currently in a flooded pod that is still rising up 30 feet. Per round. We made it to the bottom of the turn order last session, and given that we are still in combat, we are going to start at the second from the top of the turn order, because Nephis isn't going to be stupid enough to swim outside the pod again.
Good.
Yeah, so that means it's Vinshenzo's turn. He's going to ready an attack if anything comes into melee range. That's what Nephis is doing.
Good. Smart.
Oh, okay. So it's my turn?
It's Vinshenzo's turn, yeah. We're going to start off with you.
How much further up is it? The surface?
You are 150 feet from the surface of the sea.
Okay. I have to look up giant shark. Do. Okay. I will dash again, which will give me 100 feet of movement.
Yeah.
And I will go straight towards the surface again. And I end my turn.
Okay.
Before I end my turn, am I able to see, like, what kind of fixture these things are attached to?
The pods?
Yeah, is there like a platform or something up there?
They're attached to buoys. So if you recall, there are not just cables, but there's a central chain which is like raising the pod up. So the cables themselves are attached to buoys. The chain is attached to some sort of a strange platform or a vessel of some sort that is just below the surface.
So the pods are attached to buoys that are attached to a chain that are attached to a platform.
The air comes from buoys. The pod is like, instead of just floating up into the great surface and just kind of like arriving at the surface, it like goes up towards, kind of like the way a ferry goes from one side of the river to the other. It follows a chain. Or it follows a cable or some shit like that. These pods, they rise up on a chain, which at least brings them to somewhere, and that somewhere is a platform that is floating beneath the waves, or a thing that is floating beneath the waves.
Okay, I would like to use all of my movement to go directly towards the platform.
Okay.
I end my turn.
Your turn is ended. Which makes it conveniently Carlos's turn.
Hello.
Now you're underwater, Carlos, if I recall.
Yes.
And you have a bubble, which is still got half a day's worth of air breathing, which is lucky.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yes.
So now that we're all caught up on the breathing situation, what's your turn?
Pretty much just gonna prepare an attack. If anything hostile comes within range, I'll stab it, and that's about it.
Heck yeah. Which makes it the Sahuagin's turns. Sahuagin. So the Sahuagins are going to climb up on top of the pods. The two that are here and the two that are remaining here. and with their tridents, they're going to start stabbing at the chains.
Oh, now it's on.
But the only people who can see that are the ones who are able to transpose themselves either through the window view or anything else. You can't exactly see what they're doing, but you know they're hitting the chains in the sense that you can feel the chunk and the struggle as each blow lands. I'm gonna roll some actual dice for that.
So is this for both pods or just
both pods? Both of them. Both of these.
But our pod isn't on the chain anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is free floating.
Yeah, we were free floating, and that Vinshenzo pulled us far, far away from the Sahagin that were next to us. They were trying to catch up, and then went for the second pod when they realized they could.
Okay, I'm glad that you had that because I basically reviewed the last 10 minutes of the footage, which didn't have that in. So I will amend that, which means that these Sawagin are going towards the other pod, and these two are attacking the chain, which just means less dice for me to roll. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Fucking get out of the way, Cave Fisher. Of course he gets a 5. So somebody manages to miss a chain that is not trying to evade it. That's good.
Good. Yeah, it's off to a good start.
Good start. So we'll roll the damage on the first one, which is the 1d6. Cool. I'll have that written down. And then their second attacks. And the other guys swim at 40 feet, so they're slowly catching up to the other pod, but they're still a ways behind. Oh, look, a 20.
Oh my god.
So I guess the same one misses the same chain, and the other one hits again, but good. Gooder.
Oh my
Goodest.
god.
Gooderist.
Hell yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, good. And double dice damage, so 2 times 1 is 2.
Hell yeah.
Plus 1 is 3 damage on top of the 7. That's pretty good. And that's the Sahuagin's
Are
turn.
these
So the
chains
chain
made out of steel beams?
they're made out of steel. They're thick gauge steel cable, so
Oh
it's
my
not going
God.
to take one mere swipe with a trident to knock these things off. They're proper industrial chains. But they're hacking at them either way. With that last blow that lands, Carlos, you can feel the entire pod shudder as whether you're holding on to something or you're resting on the bottom or however it is that you're floating within the pod. But as it's rising up, you can feel it's being tampered with quite dangerously.
How dare.
And that makes it Paelias' turn.
I passed my turn.
Hell yeah.
Which makes it Vasrai's turn.
Vinshenzo is still moving with us, correct?
Yes.
Okay, how are the elves doing?
To your mom's house.
Frightened beyond belief.
I'm going to try and comfort them a little bit, tell them that it's okay. They probably can't hear me, though.
They can
It's okay.
see the
I'm just
inside
trying
of
to-
a shark mouth.
Yeah, just everything will be fine. Please remain calm. The kobold is not panicking. Remain calm.
We
So,
are the
it's
bad
okay.
guys.
I'm panicking
Probably.
so you don't have to.
Actually, I do have a question. I don't know if I did this before. Are these elves wearing armor?
No.
No.
That has been asked before. They're not.
So we want to keep them safe. DM,
Yes.
Hello.
on this elf, I cast mage armor.
On which elf?
This one.
Okay.
She now has mage armor, and I'm preparing to cast mage armor on the other one. But I will need my next turn. That will help keep them alive.
Will it?
A little bit extra AC helps. I need more armor. It's dangerous down here.
No joke.
Magical armor, invisible to the eye, forms around her body. So she now has magical armor. And that is the end of Vesray's turn.
Oh, that's a good turn. All right, Nephis, who's also waiting. Nephis looks at you, Carlos, and says, "Huh? That doesn't seem very good."
We should. We need to stop them. I think they're trying to break the device.
I agree. Want me to go up there?
I'll be right behind you.
All right. Keep a good grip. And he climbs up out of the pod. And he's
So
going to
how is
climb.
the sound transferred from air bubble through water to...
Because we have air bubbles. Really
I'm using
close
Hollywood
together.
air scuba free falling logic, alright? That's what I'm using.
Carlos got close enough to kiss him, and they're in the
Listen,
same air bubble now.
yeah.
If
No.
Warner Brothers, with their multi-million-dollar film contracts, can have fucking Tom Hiddleston or whatever his name is fly out of a back of a C-130 and have a conversation, I think that Carlos and Nephis, in my entirely $0 funded budget project, can speak to each other underwater through magic bubbles.
Makes sense to me.
So that's how I'm going to rule it for now, because I didn't think about that before. Maybe they use a flurry of elegant and well-practiced hand signals. Who knows? Either way, Nephis is going to... useless NPC number 38 is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. So his full movement to get up and around on top. And he's going to swipe at a Sahuagin.
I just want you guys to know, if I ever drop out of the campaign, you have... I expect you to rename all my stuff to useless NPC.
If Vinshenzo ever drops out of the campaign, it will absolutely be because he was too busy and he needed a haircut.
Yeah, dude.
Short sword, +1, +8. Oh, okay, here we go, Nephis.
Oh my god.
8. Does he get anything special for the fact that it's a preferred enemy? No, that's just his rolls.
This is rolls for like intelligence on
He
them.
can track
Basically,
them.
about
He can twack them. Okay, so that was +8 for his attack, and then it's 1d6 plus 1? Proficiency plus dex. Okay, so it's +4. 1d6 plus 4. Here we go.
He would get a bonus at level 20 for attacking a favorite enemy, but yeah, right now,
Not
no.
yet. Well, he deals 10 damage. That's nothing to shake a stick at. And he gets his second attack because he's Nephis. Yeah,
That's my
Nephis
boy.
doesn't grant him a second attack, but 7 plus 8, 15. So that's 2, 6, another 6 damage for a total of 16 damage against the Swagan. And then he's going to... Can't remember what else Nephis can do in combat. I don't usually run him. I know he usually casts, what is it, Hunter's Mark?
Yeah.
yeah, he
It
uses
gives
Hunter's
bonus
Mark,
damage.
and then I think he.
Although
has-
he does
it's
not
a
have a
bonus
whole lot of
action.
spells. Oh, actually, no, no, he hasn't used any of his third level spells.
I think
Yeah,
he has
No,
like
or second level.
Colossal Strike or something like that. Colossus Slayer. I don't think that'll work though.
Okay, he's going to cast Hunter's Mark as a bonus action. He chooses a creature that he can see with a range, and he mystically marks it as his quarry. And he's going to mark the second Sahwagan.
Yeah, Claws Slayers just deals bonus damage if target is already injured.
Alright.
Yeah. And that's his turn, which makes it Vinshenzo's turn.
As a giant shark, am I able to jump out of the water?
Are you capable of leaping out of the water?
I have no abilities that can do it, but
I'm going to go with the act of physics. If you're swimming at high speed straight up, then you're definitely not going to just like max speed float on top of the surface.
How much distance is left?
You swam up 100 feet last turn, so you got 50 feet.
Okay. I will move 50 feet to the surface then. And
No.
if I have enough ability, I will leap onto the platform.
The platform is below the surface. The buoys are on the surface. Does that change your decision at all?
Is there any like dry ground? I guess I'm trying to understand.
The buoys are. When I say they're buoys, I don't mean like a little fishing buoy. I mean like, you know, one of them ocean things that you can definitely fit like 3 or 4 people on.
You know, them ocean things.
Ocean things.
Can I patooey a submersible pod onto one of them?
You can definitely try to patooey a submersible pod on one of them. I say try because it will be a ranged attack.
Don't roll too high or too low,
You what? How is it a ranged attack?
because you're throwing an object at another object.
You're spitting it out with velocity, or you're just kind of like doing what a dog does, and you just kind of like, bleh,
I'm
I
like
just fall at my feet.
adjacent to it. I just want to place the pod onto the platform or the buoy.
Okay, tracking, got it. No, yeah, you can just do that
Okay.
as an action.
Am I able to move on? If I dispel polymorph, am I able to climb onto the thing?
How much your movement speed do you have left?
I used all of it to get to the surface, but I don't know, or get
I
to
would-
the pod, but
I would-
I don't know how much is what.
I would stipulate, given the fact that you're swimming directly up and your intention was to go to the buoy, that you would arrive next to it. You would be able to, as an action, put the pod up into a place of safety, and then you could dispel polymorph, but you would be like, you would remain in the water, treading water at the end of your turn. Or you could stay as a giant shark and then dispel and jump up next turn, but I think you've moved all of your movement speed and you've used your action, so you can't dash.
How have I used my action?
Because I told you can put the pod on the buoy as an action, and you said okay.
Okay, I will do that and end my turn.
Understood. Okay, so now Paelias, Fazrai, and 2 elves are above the water on what looks to be an upside-down teacup of a buoy. Vinshenzo was able to, in shape of giant shark, deposit you on the flatter upper surface, which cones in a mechanically irrelevant amount of feet. It's kind of like a little concave interior where there is a large grill plate that leads into whatever the airflow system that is now like circled back up above and is mangled with the pod itself and the shark teeth. So yeah, you're now resting above. You can see the surface. You can see the sun and the shine and the clouds and the waves and the, not the Wide Horizons, but that other ship. Wide Horizons Light.
The bark of Boolean.
No,
That
the
one.
fortune.
Yeah, it's the
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the HMS
I just
Fortune.
wanted to say Bark of Bullion.
Bank of Bobcat. Anyways, okay, you said that was the end of your turn, which means that it's Carlos's turn, who sadly is not on the surface. He is underwater. So walking.
Yeah.
Still.
About how can I gauge how far away I'm from the surface?
Just do it horizontally and then add 10 feet. The reason I say add 10 feet is that it's the 10 feet to get you up and then around to the center.
No, I'm wondering how far am I from surface?
Oh,
of
sorry,
water?
from the surface. Okay, you were 150 feet. The pod went 30 feet up last turn, then 30 feet up this other turn, so that's another 60 feet. So 150 feet minus 60 is 90 feet to go.
Okay, all right.
Wait,
All right.
what?
So,
He's 90 feet. Their pod is 90 feet from the surface?
They are lower down than you because they are sadly not shark powered.
I thought they were much further down. Okay. Oh, yeah.
well, remember you dragged the pod way down and then way back up, and we just kind of mostly
Pod-
stayed in between.
Pod number 1 has fluctuated in height a lot more than pod number 2, even though pod number 2 had a rocky start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I'm gonna go, let's see, I guess 5, and then 15 to get up. And then while I'm moving, I'm like, holding on to the fucking pod. So I don't float away. 20, 25, 30, and this guy's kind of in the middle of 4 squares. I don't know where he is.
I didn't want him to be on the inside of the thing because you
Okay.
guys were on the inside, but they're effectively standing like. Oh, sorry. I'm just moving you out of the way to move him. So they are
Okay.
effectively like this. They're just above the pod.
Outstanding. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna fucking stab him with my dagger.
Stab him, bitch.
I'm gonna
Oh my god.
Booming dagger.
boom out. Yeah, yeah. Booming
Booming.
dagger.
Bitch slapped.
Does a 13 hit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're Hawaiian. They're not fucking orcs.
Even on a bad day, I'm still pretty good. All right. Let's see.
And on the bad day, I'm still bad.
That's rude.
Bad to the bone. Bad.
The Monster.
That is the 25 plus.
You kill him.
Okay. Yeah, it's like 30 damage.
You needed 22. Did you get above that?
Yeah.
You kill him.
Outstanding. I fucking slit his throat and then look at the other with murderous intent
Oh.
and end my turn.
The second Sahuagin murderously intends to try and fight off Nephis. And it is going to be rolling Nephis's armor. He doesn't have 14 AC. You can't just have that. Okay, well, that's what's marked on his thing. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, that is physically impossible. Unless he's wearing basic clothing.
He's wearing just regular leather armor.
Well, the first attack lands a 21. Sorry, 20.
That is
That is
leather
general.
armor plus 1 equipped. So that would be. He would have 17 AC.
He would have 17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it still hits because he got.
Yeah.
The Swaggin rolled a 20 with its first
That is
attack.
12, plus 1 would be 13, and then plus dex, which is 4.
That's not too bad. That's pretty nasty. 3 plus 3 is 6 damage to Nephis. Oh.
In fact, let me fix that about that. Block. There you go.
Outstanding. Knight, you keep altering that character sheet, and I'm just gonna make you play him.
God damn it.
Knight's like, fuck, I'm never gonna help the DM again. Jesus. And the last one was a critical miss, so he is going to. His second attack, he swings at Nephis in such a way that Nephis is able to, like, grab the shaft of the trident and bend the Sahuagin's wrist in such a way that it loses hold of its trident and it goes floating off into the depths. It is now disarmed.
Hell yeah, Nephis.
And given the fact that the pod is actively moving away from the dropped weapon, it's pretty much gone. Which makes it the other three Sahuagins, which are catching up, they're a little bit closer. Not by much, but they're a little bit closer. You can't really tell, but I'm tracking. Which means it's Paelias' turn. Paelias, you're on the surface! You see the sun!
I open the hatch, go outside, and I close the hatch while telling Vasrai to keep an eye on the O.
Okay. You see a
And
second...
then if I still have movement, I'll climb on top of the pod to try and get as good a view as I can.
Okay. You can do that in one move.
Alright.
You're on top of a cylindrical pod. The glass front is made of iron plating riveted with brass bolts, sometimes steel bolts. The same mark that was on the hatch, which, oh god, I had to go back and remember what I put on it. But anyways, the same thing is like scrawled in white paint. Dilapidated brass? No, that's a bit too far back. Anyways, there's the goblin slash scavenger sign is on the pod. That's not too much of a surprise.
Yeah.
And you can see a couple feet away, about 100 feet away, that there's another teacup buoy, likely for the second pod, but one could presume other functions. That's to your right, implying that you're looking north, so that would be to your east, and then to your west is a much larger circular disc-shaped buoy that would be relatively above where that sunken platform that you would have seen in the pod would have been located.
Alright. Do I see the fortune anywhere on the horizon?
The fortune is nearby. It is in motion. It is sailing around. For now, it's to your north. I will mention that you no longer see the roof of the clock tower, which originally had harbored your descent into the depths. You no longer see that around.
Oh, that's not good.
Hell yeah.
Can I attempt to estimate the distance to the fortune?
You may roll survival.
That is an 11.
They're about a half mile away. To your elf eyes, you believe they're a half mile away.
Do I still have an action?
I would say you would. You've so far all you've done is bounce your way on up to the top of the pod.
Okay, I will expend a 4th level spell slot because I don't have a third one, or a 3rd level one, to fire a fireball straight up into the sky.
Fireball.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the range of a fireball?
120 feet.
Okay, so it goes sailing 120 feet up in the air and then explodes, creating very beautiful and incredibly obvious marker in the sky.
Hell yeah.
And then I will end my turn.
Awesome. That's right.
I use my last level 1 spell slot to cast Mage Armor on the other sister.
All right. So for the next 8 hours, both sisters effectively are protected by mage armor.
13 AC plus Dex.
These are not concentration, correct?
No.
They are just 8-hour duration.
Okay. So I was going to say, it'd be very hard to do 2 mage armors at once if it was a concentration spell.
Yeah, she usually has this for keeping VIPs or whatever people safe in case they need them. So people that have no armor need protection, but that is all that Vazray does as she watches Paelias shoot a fireball into the sky. Which
I'm
was
signaling our boat. We need a pickup.
it seems that we had the same idea. I was tempted to do a firebolt. So yours is a lot more obvious. It's exactly the sound effect that frickin' Paelias' fireball did too. I end my turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's now
That brings it down to Nephis, who is an unarmed Sahuagin that was hurt right in front of him.
The pod probably also goes up a number of feet.
Yeah, the pod also ascends 30 feet, so which means you're at 60 feet now instead of 90 feet. Nephis hits the dirty, dastardly Sahuagin, dealing 1d6 plus 4 damage. What does he get for his, Oh,
So for
Okay, what are you looking for?
his Colossus Slayer, the thing that says, oh, there it goes.
Okay, once per turn.
On target hit below max HP 1d8. So
Yeah.
this is once per turn, so he's going to use his 1d8.
does this target also have Hunter's Mark on it?
No.
Was the target that had Hunter's Mark died?
Yeah.
He can readjust his Hunter's Mark
As
to
a
that
bonus
target.
action, he can apply it to a new target.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love
So long as he's
learning about all
concentrating
these
on the-
new skills.
Yeah, I'd say Hunter's Mark reapplication. That way he does a little bit more damage.
An extra one. So he's going to do that. Bonus action, change Hunter's Mark because Nephis would know better.
So it's dueling,
extra
so he'll
1d6.
do an additional 2 damage on hit.
6, 8, 10. Okay, well, the raw numbers are enough to kill the damn thing, which is awesome. Bloop! He dispatches the unarmed Sahuagin with ease, sheathing his short sword, and he nods to Carlos, keeping a hold on the chain. He's going to point at the chain, and then he's going to point at the surface of the hull, and he's going to like put his 2 feet down as to say, "I'm staying here."
Carlos gives him a
Nephis'
thumbs up.
turn. Awesome. With the end of Nephis' turn comes the start of Vinshenzo.
Okay. I would like to swim as a shark 5 feet to the other pod, or the other buoy. And then I will climb, and then I will dispel polymorph. And I will climb up onto the buoy.
Alright, you are now successfully buoyed.
And I would like to cast polymorph one more time.
Alright, and what are you polymorphing into?
Wait one.
Standing by.
Let me just... You said there's room for... how big is the buoy?
You can fit the entire pod on a buoy and then have a little bit, like 5 feet around the perimeter to move around.
Can a huge beast fit on the buoy?
Yes, a huge beast could fit on the top of the buoy.
Okay. I will do that. I would like to turn into a giant ape.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay.
And then if I am able to, I would like to begin pulling the chain up.
Once again, the chain is not connected to this. The chain is connected to the submersed platform, whereas the breathing cables are attached to the buoy.
Okay, then I would like to pull the pod up by its breathing cables.
Awesome. What's your strength as a giant ape?
23.
All right, roll me athletics.
Okay. Ooh, I have +9 in that.
That's what, a +7?
Yeah.
I get a +9.
Hell yeah.
22.
22. That's not too bad. All right, you start hauling. And from the perspective of Carlos and Nephis, shortly after the last Sahuagin was dispatched, all of a sudden the pod tilts wildly on one axis, and I want both yourself and Nephis to roll acrobatics to try and keep yourselves attached.
Say no more.
Hell yeah, they got this.
Natural 20, plus, hold on, I want this. Plus 15, that's total of 35.
Okay, and
Hell
Nephis
yeah.
has plus 13, so he got a 24. So both of you guys are fine. You grab hold of a surface, whether it's the chain or one of the breathing tubes. And
Yeah, but I do it with
pod-
style.
You do it with style, it's true. Nephis just shoots out a hand. He's very not as flashy about it. And he just sort of grimaces as the pod is lurching and just starts going up. And it kind of goes almost as though something is tugging on it and not applying a continuous force, which is fine. But you guys are safe for the moment because you've grabbed onto the chain. And instead of being pulled up its regular 30 feet, it goes up an extra 30 feet. So it's gone up 60 feet so far.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. Vinshenzo, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, or is that it?
I will end my turn.
Okay, Carlos.
Yes.
It's you.
Let me think for a second. So how far are we from the surface now?
You were at 90 feet, I believe, and you've just gone up an extra 60 feet, so you're right there. You're almost at the surface. You're 30 feet away. You're about level with the submerged platform, and as you were on the outside, and Vin would have seen this too, but the submerged platform looks a lot more like a really large metal cobbled together bread box.
Okay, so like
It
it's
seems
kind of
to-
like meant to like hold the.
Hold things.
Okay.
It's meant to hold things. It's bigger and longer / wider in its dimensions than the pods are, so it seems like it's meant to fit the pods and other things. You can see what look to be large inflated canvas bags or balloons or something on the underside that seem to be keeping it in place, as well as a number of breathing tubes and other apparatuses that are connected to a large saucer-like buoy that's on the surface.
All right, so I get Nephis' attention, and I point up at the very fast approaching container-looking thing, and then I kind of make a motion with my arm to imply that we should swim away and up. And then Carlos is going to use dash to swim 40 feet and reach the edge of the buoy. Do I have enough movement to climb out of the water?
Roll me athletics for the entire thing, because swimming, you do not have a swimming speed, so this is really what's going to determine how well you're able to yoink yourself. Hi, is there something I can do for you? Well, you go ask your mother. He doesn't want to ask.
Clutch. All right. 11 plus 6 is 17.
17. You can use your movement and your action to dash and get yourself all the way up to the surface and up on top of the platform safely.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I pull myself up and I look at what I presume could only be Vinshenzo.
Yeah, you see a giant ape pulling on the breathing tube.
Ah, well, thank you. That definitely got us to the surface a tad faster. There were Sahagin chasing us. And then Carlos would wait for Nephis to inevitably appear.
Hell yeah. Oh, interesting. So the Sahagins were quite close, but with the jolt of the giant ape, they're actually now way far behind. So the Sahagins are effectively unable to catch up. Not that anybody except for Nephis would know. It's Paelias' turn.
I would like to make a perception check to see if the fortune is heading this way.
Okay, you can make your perception check. Also, you see a giant ape, and Carlos has just jumped out of the water.
I mean, I was up here when Vinshenzo climbed up and transformed, so...
Yeah.
That is... Sorry, perception... That is a 24.
The Wide Horizon... not the Wide Horizons, fuck. The Fortune is in the process of turning. Big ship takes a minute to turn, but it's definitely turning.
Alright, in that case, I will climb back down and open the hatch. I've signaled the fortune. They're on their way. And I pass my
Now
turn.
it's the waiting game.
And now it's the waiting game. We're gonna exit combat time for the moment because there's nothing attacking you guys. Israel, because it's your turn naturally in the combat order, I don't want to just skip over you if there's something you immediately want to do, but I'll look at you first outside of the combat order.
Okay.
Riveting stuff. Okay.
God damn it, you're waiting for me, aren't you?
Yeah, I was. I said,
Motherfucker.
"Hey, I'll look at you first," and then you just
He
said
just
nothing. So
said. He literally just said.
I thought he... I'm sorry. Okay. God damn
you
it.
thought I was going to do something to you. Okay,
I
well,
thought
I'm going
you were-
to take this second to see if Nephis can get out of the water or not, because he's a lazy ass. He rolls a 19 for his athletics to swim up, and that is plus 6, so it's 25. He sure as shit makes it up. So right behind Carlos comes Nephis. He heaves himself up onto the buoy, looks at the giant ape, looks back at Carlos, looks around, and goes, "Ugh." That's about all he does.
Is that all? Okay. Got it.
I would like to do something.
All right, Vinjapso, what do you want to do?
I would like to use my ability Rock, where I make a ranged weapon attack on the platform that's submerged in the water.
And what are you using as a rock?
Have Nephis and Carlos left the other pod?
They are off the other pod. The other pod is underwater. They are out of the pod and they swum to the surface by themselves.
Can I grab their pod?
Roll me one more athletics check just for me.
Oh hell yeah.
Because there's other things that are in the way of you doing this that you might not fully thought out.
17 athletics.
Okay. So as you start really hauling on that breathing tube to be able to try and lift the pod up, you're starting to feel a lot of pull, as though something is pulling against you on the line. And as you're heaving up, the tension increases, and then suddenly it snaps, and you almost go flying backwards. And I'd like to take a dexterity saving throw to not go yoinking into the sea.
Okay. Oh. 12.
You mean it's 12? Okay, so the giant ape, who is using his immense strength and all of this tension, the tension suddenly is no longer there, but all that immense strength is. And so the breathing apparatus and the giant ape both go flying backwards off of the buoy and into the sea.
That's fine. I still have my bubble, right?
I think the
Ew.
bubble. Yeah, I would expect you to still have your bubble.
Hell yeah. I would like
The
to
pod
swim
is no
down
longer-
to the platform as giant ape.
All right. So you notice that the second you go underwater, you realize what's happened. So the breathing apparatus was separated from the pod, and the chain of the pod is towing it towards the platform where it's naturally supposed to go. Pod number 1 didn't have that issue because the chain wasn't attached anymore.
Hell yeah.
And pod number 2 is on its way to the garage with an underwater ape in chase. So you swim over to the platform unopposed. You can see that whatever Sahuagin that had been in the area are starting to descend again, leaving you unopposed for the moment.
I would
Oh,
like
those aren't mine.
to attempt
think it's
to
that.
rip panels off of the platform.
All right. So you landing on the roof type deal.
Yeah, I want to tear it open.
All right. Roll me athletics, King Kong.
Okay.
Are you approximately huge or approximately giant?
Approximately huge.
Huge.
I got
He's
23.
huge. Stand by.
Also, is the breathing apparatus? What is the breathing apparatus made out of? Is it rubber? That's nuts. We should take the rubber back. Roll his. Oh, I'm stupid.
Or maybe it's a foreign substance. Oh, sorry, I was blowing my nose. I didn't want that to transfer.
I got 8.
It's kind of like a rope that feels funny.
Giant ape doesn't care.
Giant ape don't know. So the giant ape, however, is very interested in carrying this thing that is a box into a thing that is no longer a box, and he's very successful at it. As you quickly find, Vinshenzo, this was not exactly constructed by master craftsmen. And you were able to find a metal plate that has been fastened inappropriately enough that you can get your big ol' ham hands around it and lever yourself to a point where you just start peeling it right off the hull. As soon as you do so, you can see some of the rivets and bolts popping up and snapping up. And under the groan of the metal, you can see that you have, in fact, pried open this sardine can of a platform, and water is now rushing inside. If you'd like to roll perception to look inside and see what's in there, you can. Or if you're just not interested in doing that, you want to keep smashing, you can do that too.
I will roll perception. Perception +4. I got a 22.
All right. So inside, as you rip this thing off in your frenzy, you can see 3 hobgoblins in what look like orange and white jumpsuits.
They're cosmonauts.
They were standing around, and then as you rip open the panel, you see them all look up in shock, and then the shock turns to horror, and then the horror turns to just sheer panic as they have no time to react to the flood that enters into the compartment, and they just get smashed up against the walls, and the flooding pour into water.
Is it
Nice.
sinking now?
No, not yet. You just ripped off one panel. It's not good, but it's not it's a little bit tougher than that. It takes a little bit more to sink a bread box than just ripping off one panel.
I guess I'll keep going then.
Hell yeah, you're gonna rip off another one?
Until Giant Ape has some feedback that the bread box is not gonna be recovered.
Are you only going for panels, or are you going for things that look delicate and fragile as well?
I want this
like
thing
windows.
to sink.
Okay, roll me another athletics.
Okay. Oh, I got 13.
At 13, you look around for another panel. You're pounding your fist. You're doing a number of attempted techniques to try and pry up another metal panel, but they seem fairly well fastened in this side. You might need to ape your way over to another sector.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm curious to know what the rest of the party is doing as you're taking a moment up above. The giant ape has just vanished into the sea.
Carlos would be kind of like peering over the edge and trying to look down into the water to see what's going on.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
You have dark vision out to how many feet?
60.
60, eh? Alright. So you look down through the sea, and I'll get you to roll me a perception check.
Okay, I can do that. It's a thing I can do. Okay, let's see, 11 plus 12 is 23.
You are following and tracking the entire sequence of events that Vinshenzo is embarking on. However, you can see it from a better perspective. So, giant super ape, as soon as he has started to crash and bang all over the outer surface of the hull, you, Carlos, can see that whenever he moves from one side to the other, it's wobbling and unbalanced with his weight. However, it's not so precarious that it's a super danger. You see the ape start ripping panels off and grabbing and scrabbling around at the surface, crawling around the outside. You also see that one of the large hatch, which presumably is where the pods come from, given the fact that's where the chains lead, is open. And that second pod that you and Nephis were once in, which is not looking in a very good state of repair, is being swallowed up into the hatch. And you see other things moving around in the water within the large hatch.
It looks like Vinshenzo's trying to destroy their contraptions.
Ugh. It seems like a bit of a waste of time. Didn't we already get out of there? Says Nephis, the only one who can hear you.
Well, you know how Vinshenzo is. Once you get something in his head.
Nephis nods and he points to the fortune, which has, FYI, Paelias completed its turn, is beginning to sail in the direction of the buoys. And he's gonna say,
You better not stay down there for too long. It's almost here.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about him. He always has a way out of everything.
Nephis just nods his head and goes back to also watching underwater. Paelias and Vazra, are you two up to anything, or are you just patiently waiting for the ship to show up?
Vazray is patiently waiting with the sisters, attempting to keep them calm.
Vazra has no interest in the fact that her lord and master has vanished into the waves.
You can't see, she's in the pod.
I'm in the pod, and the last time
Right, you're in the pod. Never mind, so it doesn't matter at all.
the
You're
last
totally
time
fine
I
with
saw
that.
him, he was a shark, so I have faith in him.
Baby
was fine.
shark, do.
Yeah, Vazray's not really concerned about Ven right now. He's fine.
I am fully confident in how confident you are in him.
Me
Hell
too.
yeah.
Good enough. All right, that means back to the main action, Mr. Ape.
Okay, I will try to damage it further, I guess. This will be my last attempt. Okay. 24.
Oh, that works. That works good. So with a 24, you not only, so you scramble around to another side of this strange underwater platform, and not only do you find the perfect opportunity to smash, but it also ends up being perfectly effective too. As you're clambering around the top and over the side, you notice that there is a large viewing area, glass panels that aren't so much providing a view of the surrounding sea or the surface, but it's more focused down for those who want to look into the depths. And there's a fairly ugly seam that you were able to find, and through the process of giant ape fist plus giant ape bicep, you smash open the glass, you start ripping open the seams, which creates a larger tear, and as water begins flooding in to the compartment, of which you can see there's a number of creatures there that are already panicked but are now trying as best they can to get the hell out of whatever the rooms they're in. The of water to tear open the rest of the platform and start separating the seam that you had opened, and the platform begins to shrink. Not shrink. Sorry, it starts to sink.
Hell yeah. If I'm able to, I will push off the platform and resurface.
That's not. Sorry. Yes, you can the platform and you can without much effort, thanks to your air bubble. Hey.
I will dispel polymorph and end my turn.
Okay, you end your turn treading water as Vinshenzo the Dark Elf in the sea. The HMCS TSTS Fortune, after a few minutes of slowly approaching like the giant savior it is, pulls up, raises sail and pulls up close to the buoys, where the crewmen lower a cargo net over the side and start beckoning to you guys, saying, come on, chap! We'll pull you up!
Hell yeah. I climb it into the cargo net.
Hell yeah! This call is being called out to the others in the pods as well, or near the pods, or
yeah.
at the pods. The buoy boys.
Can
And
Vazra
the
even hear
Get
them?
me outta here.
Plot to give myself and the three other.
Yep. Sorry, Paelias.
I spend the 6th level spell slot to cast Fly on myself and the 3 other occupants.
Okay, they're. What's this fly do? Do they immediately take
60
flight?
foot
Because they are
flight
in the
speed.
pod. Okay, so they can voluntarily choose to fly or not fly.
They can
Yeah.
fly.
Okay, so they're not just going to start rising up in the air. Got it. All right. Well,
No.
you now have the ability to fly. Vinshenzo watering towards the boat. Vazrai, you and your 2 elves are now granted and gifted with the power of flight. You're inside the pod. Carlos, how are you getting out of there? You gonna swim?
Yeah, I guess so.
Swim. Hell yeah! So between the swimmers and the flyers, you all managed to get yourselves on board the HMS Fortune, and you all you're pulled up one by one by the crew members, except for those who can fly. I assume you just land on the deck like.
Yep.
Like way cooler than those who got yanked up out of the sea, that's for sure. Anyways, so you land on the deck, you get pulled up onto the deck. The crew are very eager and excited to see you, and they say, Oh, we're so glad you got back safe, Captain Nephis, Lord Vinshenzo, and the rest. That's right, Carlos, we're so happy to see you.
It's good
And
to see you.
they prepare for the next round of orders, or whatever the hell it is you guys want them to do. But they begin immediately, sort of like sailing in the direction of anywhere but here, please. In the effort to not be in the middle of a dangerous spot before before anything else happens. They're just
Then
getting
I
on their way.
would like to ask to the crew what happened to the clock tower after we entered.
So they explained to you that everything's been fine, was fine for most of the time you were down there until the past 2 hours ish for them has been a fairly nail-biting, anxiety-ridden experience, as they not only did things start really appearing out of nowhere, but they had noticed the buoys. There was a lot of strange tremors and bubbles that had been coming to the surface, along with some debris. And then they also described how the clock tower itself seemed to snap and tumble into the sea. They say that they'd been holding out hope that the vagabonds would be able to escape a mere trifling annoyance such as being trapped underwater, but they were beginning to get a little bit anxious at the very end. And when they saw the fireball, they were quite happy to know you guys had made it out alive.
I pat whoever's speaking on the back and said, there was never any question.
Never any doubt.
Oh, of course, Lord Vinshenzo, of course. For those of us who are not as experienced with your deeds firsthand, though, it's a little bit harder to believe. But now that we've all seen with our own eyes how incredibly fortunate and powerful you all are, it leave us much more confident the next time.
Your patience and loyalty will be well rewarded when we return.
Hell yeah.
This receives a very positive response from the crew, and they enthusiastically prepare to resume their duties alongside NPC Nephis, who is now officially Captain NPC Nephis.
Captain NPC number 37.
Yeah. So he's gonna take command of the operation generally of the ship, but I'm not gonna do unnecessarily stupid command decisions. So effectively treat the ship as NPC boat. assume that Nephis attends all shipboard meetings, and that when you sit there and go, we should probably keep sailing east, he'll go, cool. So you don't have to go and inform him. Nephis is there as part of all shipboard meetings.
Hell yeah.
Because he's the
ship
captain.
after all.
I inform Nephis.
He's informed. Sorry, what do you inform him of? I need to know at least.
That he's informed.
Okay.
Or that he will be informed when the time comes for him to be informed.
He's been informed that information might be infoed to him informatively.
This is accurate.
Do you see this notification? Have you noticed your notification? This is a notice that you've noticed your notification. Been notified. The noticing of your notification that's been noticed. Anyways, cool. So, team crew, I think you guys left like the majority of the cool shit that you found down in the dead of the brink.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It was never about the books.
It
Well,
was
let's see in
never
that
about
armor.
the books.
Carlos
I got
rescued some
stuff
stuff.
out, but I left quite a lot.
Well, maybe someday somebody will find it. Maybe those orcs and goblins will.
Meanwhile, Vazra's flying around the ship.
Yes,
Vinshenzo
Vazra is
came to
happily-
rescue survivors, and of the two that he found, the two that he found survived. Vinshenzo
Yeah, we didn't find the dad.
declares it a massive success.
Call that a flag-on. It's a great victory. I mean,
I mean, we got at least some people out alive. I'd call that a win.
He wouldn't have wanted us to endanger his daughters. No father would.
I would.
We didn't even know if he
I
was
would bring them
alive
below
either.
deck to get some rest and a proper meal.
proper meal.
I mean, if we knew for sure he was definitely still alive, we might have stuck our necks out a little bit more, but there was no way of knowing.
This is accurate.
I cannot
Most recent traces we found led to a dead guy who wasn't their dad.
Plus,
Yeah.
everything was flooding, yo.
We didn't have time to conduct a paternity test.
Okay, sorry, I had to pee really quick. I'm back. I'm here. I'm listening. Once her time is nearly up, she slumps back on the deck on her feet, enjoying the intensity of fire. Cool. Yay! Vazrai flew.
We got to be dragon for a little bit.
Little.
Let's set up like a kobold roar pretending to be a dragon.
Vinshenzo will begin taking a long rest.
She is fully invested in this whole thing of like.
He tells the others he will conduct a watch when he wakes up during the night.
What is the time?
Late afternoon.
Okay.
When I am done meditating, I will take the watch.
In the meantime, Carlos would
The gwatch.
take the guatch.
Vazra's gonna go take a rest. She's had enough for one day.
Hell yeah! I assume that's sort of the general tenure. So Captain Nephis will set course in the direction of New Ravnica.
Wait, they wouldn't go to bed. They're elves. They would meditate.
Yes. Yeah, they probably need some time to absorb the shock and trauma of the entire weeks-long incident that they just been under.
Yeah.
It might have been just a little quick in and out adventure for you guys, but for them it was quite the living hell.
Yeah, no, 20-minute adventure.
Hell yeah. Kardoc's gonna make a meme, a Rick and Morty
Right.
meme after
I will
this.
also satisfy
Too easy.
some of the stuff I found.
Okay. Is there anything that you found that you don't have notated down or don't have info of? Just so I'm aware.
So I have the 2 armored robes from the Hobgoblin spellcasters, but I don't have any way of identifying any unique traits on them. I do have the book with the red pentagram, which I have not inspected at all.
Yes.
It was in the library with the golden book in Celestial, which is on planar travel, teleportation, and everything in between.
You have both of those books, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the pentagram one does or has anything in.
I don't think you should read that.
We'll inspect it later.
Okay, deadly.
I don't know you have that book, so that's... You didn't hear me say that. That wasn't real.
It's a figment of your imagination.
Oh man, there's so many things here. Oh yes, goblins. They don't need to be here either. Goodbye, everyone. Whoop.
Whoop.
I'll clean this up later, which means it'll never get cleaned up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Glad we're all on that same boat. Speaking of. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I don't know who did it.
It's the sea.
There we go. One ship.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Is this what it's like when, like, Vinshenzo is,
There we
like,
go.
swinging from the ropes on a ship? He just fades in and then fades right back out as he just goes swinging on by.
Does Vinshenzo do that? Does he just swing around in the ropes like Tarzan?
I could totally see that.
I don't think so.
Oh,
He definitely enjoys being in the crow's nest, but I don't think he's, like, jumping from rope to rope.
Wonder if I have. Oh, I don't need to wonder. I can just create.
The ghost block. Hell yeah.
plop that down anywhere, and now we can put people in the.
Dude, shout out to the ghost block. Round of applause. Hell yeah.
I love it.
There we go.
Presume nothing happens that
All
interrupts.
of our.
Any
Now
rest?
you guys complete your short rest, or sorry, your long rest. The ship sails onwards. We'll freely finish the long rest, and then I'll open the floor to you for a moment, and you guys can decide
Hell yeah.
your regular routine as you're now freshly rested from the turmoil that you've just been through.
Bum, 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 bum.
Hi, buddy. What do you need? Do you need to do something? I think you might need to. Okay.
I hate to do this to you guys, but I have to go. I wanted to wrap that up, but I have a somewhat urgent matter to attend to.
Okay.
But I wanted to at least finish that
Get through the
before,
combat?
yeah.
Oh.
So I'll Vinshenzo will hang out maybe below deck when he's not on watch. I don't know.
Okay. Vinshenzo will just be doing himself.
Sorry.
Doing his own
I'm
thing.
sorry that I have to do this, but I do have to do it.